Hi, Emily here. We'll do a quick video talking over the Smarty Jones, a 3-year-old stake on this MLK holiday Monday. Exciting race. We have 3-year-olds making their first start of the year, heading towards what they hope will be the Triple Crown, at least some of the stakes races at Oaklawn later this season. And we got a pretty small field. We got a couple horses in here that to me just look like complete outsiders. So we'll kind of go through quickly some of the horses that are a bit more of the contenders. So the plot pulled up, and we've got 4 horses in quadrant 1, right? Our contention rating is 5, our speed rating 25. A lot of these horses that are making their first start at a route, so sometimes it's hard to tell from a pace perspective what's actually going to go on, who's going to make the lead, how hot this pace is going to be, and of course, jockey decision always comes into play, but at least this helps us get a gauge. I'll click over to surface distance, see, we got a couple horses that fall out, but for the most part, we still have 4 horses in there, the 6 and 2 above the par line, which I believe is pretty much the same thing as the standard. They go back and forth. Yeah, look pretty much the same, and I think we can expect the 6 to be on the lead, so let's start there with the handicapping as we get into the grid. This horse is coming out of the Kentucky Juvenile Stakes Grade 2 at Churchill Downs. B- he had to use from the outside post to make the lead, and expected just a more finish from this horse. I know McCracken came from way out of it, so it might look like on paper that this is a race where the pace kind of came apart, but the second place finisher kind of set a tight pocket trip, was close on the pace, and I was kind of expected a little bit more from this horse late. Maybe he came back a little bit too soon. I don't know. Relatively 38 days is not too bad. Did drop down 10 points. Said 51 days. We can expect this horse to be on the lead. Hard for me to take a short price on this horse based on that last. I really would have expected to see a little bit more late. But again, if he makes a lead kind of on the plot, and no one decides to go with him early, certainly could take this field gate to wire. Betting perspective just doesn't, doesn't do much for me at 2-1. That main challenger from the plot, we'll go back, is the number 2. We'll look at this horse because he comes out of the same race. And I thought this horse was just sitting and just, we'll go from top to bottom out of that same race. Just kind of a really good trip. He was sitting kind of spying the speed, was clear, and just so one pace. I mean, just was 4th and 3rd and never looked like a winner, no excuse. So plotty is kind of the perfect word for this horse. If anything, we'll look at upside, making his first start at a route, and showed speed in the past. Maybe he will be up there. Best race in at Churchill was a best of the speed. We have some traffic trouble right here. So close up on the pace. Again, from that perspective, visually, just didn't do a whole lot for me. So could grind and get a piece, but for a win contender, I'm looking elsewhere. Kind of skip around. We'll go to the number 1, Petrov. Last race, I thought was a really good race, even though he came in second, just missed by a head. Rated inside in the pocket, and I thought he really responded to the jockey. Ortiz rode him that day, and so it's nice to see Ortiz riding him back. Got him to raid inside, angled him out in deep stretch, made a bold run at the winner, and just missed. I think it was kind of more like a nose than a head, but either way, galloped out in front. No question on this horse to me. Looks like he'll be able to handle more ground. I like the grit that he showed. The one thing to take into consideration in this, that I thought that race was pretty soft. The winner of that race looks like an out-and-out sprinter. He kind of ran a dull race at Gulfstream Park, but granted that was at a route, and I think he'll be most effective sprinting. The rest of the field, we probably won't see in stakes races too soon. That's kind of the PC answer. You can read between the lines on that. The number 3 horse comes out of the Springboard Mile, same as the 4. So we'll kind of talk about these guys together. The 3 was just a no-keep in that race. Just total, I'm sorry, let's go back. The 3 horse comes out of that Remington Park race. don't know why it's not showing up in here. That was December 11th. And it just was a complete no keep, showed a little bit early before backing out. Again, I'm sorry that race isn't in there. I'll just talk through the run lines so I have it pulled up. But no keep, and I can't see this horse factoring here. I'm not surprised to see that this horse won over a sloppy track. He looks kind of like an upright built horse that should handle a sloppy track, so no surprise there. The number 4 horse, Rowdy the Warrior, this horse ran a really, really, really good race. To be second beat in a length. Oops, I'm looking at the wrong run line again. He finished 4th in there, but it easily could have been second beat in a length. There was 3 horses that were within a length for that place photo. And this horse was extremely wide the entire way, kind of checked off heels early and had to move outside, chased outside the entire time, and just was really game. Just kept making moves. It's just one of those efforts that visually did a lot more than it would look like on paper. Short comment in there, wide, flattened out. Not by my eyes by any stretch. I thought that horse was dead game and showed a lot of run. The 5 is an interesting horse. We'll kind of go through the run lines, but probably the most obvious thing we can see here is we have a barn change. And the barn change is interesting because the trainer just moved his horses away from Lucas to Asmussen. So I have no idea how long this horse has been with Steve Asmussen. There is a gap in works from December 28th through January 12th. So, perhaps that transition occurred in there. So it's hard to say, like, Asmussen's had this horse for the last 2 months. It's probably highly doubtful, but you never know. Either way, there's kind of a case to be made on this horse. We'll go through his races because it's a little bit fuzzy. C+, then improve. We like that. Then 2 turns at Saratoga on the turf. Of course, there's no 2-turn dirt races. Perfect trip, flow. We'll look over this. Pushed eventual place finisher, every chance in the stretch, did not, kind of a combination of flow. The winner came from over the top. So, he's kind of moving forward, progressing against turf. Comes back on the turf, kind of a sneaky good race, right? C+, trouble wide against the flow and improve. Carried very wide on the first turn into a fast opening quarter. Gets back on the dirt, definitely improves, takes a big step forward, gets a good ride, tactics plus other. I'm going to scroll over what this other is. Jock just rode this horse to victory. So we're going to come back to that race because I think that's a good race to key off of. Again, 2 turns on the turf, no keep. 1 turn on the dirt, right? Churchill 8 furlongs, 1 turn street sense. Paddock plus, pocket save, no keep, no push. So jockey didn't ride to the finish, so kind of you can end his race right here at the second call. Extended comment, raced inside, never looked comfortable. Interesting. Then he comes back in an allowance, no cover on the turf, so an outside trip, but not necessarily wide. So if we look at this horse's 2 dirt races, kind of filter, get a little bit of clarity here. We look at this horse's dirt races only. Kind of make a, different case for this horse. So, debut, 5 furlongs, not bad. Maybe it's prep, maybe needed more ground. Still, didn't run a bad race, average, right? C+. Next race on the dirt, improves, runs an 83. And the only other time, he's only able to run half a race, no keep, no push. Again, that was an inside trip, never looking comfortable. So, drawn outside, has 1 dirt race that kind of his best race. He does need to improve, but not impossible. I don't know where everyone's run lines went. Not impossible. Kind of an interesting horse. Presents a little bit of value on the morning line, 8-1. The number 7, Romeo. Again, another horse that was just a no keep. Kind of hit the gate, showed a little speed. I would expect this horse to be more forwardly placed. I think he's a little bit quicker early. So let's see where he is on the plot. Yeah, he's in quadrant 1. That makes perfect sense. I think he'll be up there on the pace, and just kind of no keep. So this horse needed to show me a lot more in there to endorse for this race. And then the number 8 from speed figure class perspective just looks a little bit below. Yeah, he moved forward, but that was a lone trip. Not going to get that today. So if anything, probably a horse like the 8. Let's see where he is. Way down here. Probably just based on the first race factored in. So if we have that good race, lone on the lead probably could be a pain for the number 6. So a lot of interesting things here. Some horses I'm interested in, just kind of based on kind of going over these tapes, going over the race. The number 1, I question how good he is, but I like the effort that he put forward. Showed some grit. So definitely for show players on track. Looks like a horse that's usable, a reliable sort. The number 4, we get a good price on that horse. Could be a key. I think last race better than looked. It's the Oklahoma bred trainer does well here. Pretty cold so far to start out, but I like that horse. Another horse that expected a game effort. And the number 5, interesting. So your favorite here. Possible betting perspective, not for me. I'd either pass the race or try to beat. And we'll just look forward to this race and the upcoming 3-year-old season at Oaklawn Park. All right, check back videos this week. Tomorrow will be a lot of talking trips videos. Probably even go over this race, and always suggestions. I'm open to them. You can leave them in the comments. Follow me on Twitter. You can send a direct message. You can tweet to me directly. And have a good day racing.